to crack a classic English puzzle, one that trips up pretty much everyone at some point. When in the world do you use was, did, or had? Let's solve this thing once and for all. You know that feeling, right? You're writing something, maybe an email or a message, and you just pause. You're staring at the screen, wondering which word is the right one. Trust me, you are so not alone. This is easily one of the most common mix-ups in English. But hey, the good news? There's a super straightforward way to figure this out. We're gonna break it all down step by step, and I promise, by the end of this, you'll have a dead simple trick to get it right every single time. Okay, first up, let's talk about was. The absolute key thing to remember about was is that it's all about a state of being. Just think of it like it's describing a condition, a feeling, or just how something was in the past. Grammatically speaking, it's actually pretty easy. Was is just the past tense version of is and am. So a sentence like, I am happy becomes I was happy. Or he is at the store becomes he was at the store. See? It's a direct swap. So the rule here is nice and specific. You're going to use was with singular subjects. I, he, she, and it. Let's look at the examples. I was happy yesterday. That describes a state of feeling. He was at home. That's a state of location. And she was tired. Well, that's a physical state. It's all about a condition. All right, let's move on to our next word. Now we're talking about did. And if was is our verb of being, then you can think of did as our verb of doing. This one is our action hero. And yep, the grammar follows that same easy pattern. Did is simply the past tense of the verb do. We use it when we're talking about some kind of action that's already happened. So did shows up in a few really important places. For simple past actions, like I did my work. But it's also what we call a helper verb. It helps us form questions, like did you eat food? And it helps us make negative statements, like I did not understand. It's all about the doing, or, the not doing. And that brings us to the final piece of our puzzle, had. The absolute easiest way to think about had is to connect it to the idea of possession, having something. I bet you've already guessed the pattern by now, right? Had is just the simple past tense of the verb have. So if you have a coffee now, you had one earlier. Simple as that. Now, had can show simple possession, like in I had a car. But it also has this other really important job in what's called the past perfect tense. It helps us show that one thing in the past was completely finished before another past action even started. For example, I had finished my work before he came. So the finishing of the work happened first. Okay, so we've looked at all three words. We've seen how they work, but now it's time for the main event. Here is the one simple trick that is going to lock all of this into place for you forever. You ready for this? Here it is. This little table is the key to the whole thing. Just remember this simple breakdown. Was is for a state, did is for an action, and had is for possession. That's it. That's the core difference. State, action, possession. Let's burn that into our brains. So let's test it out. I was tired. Okay, is tired an action? Nope. Is it something you possess? Not really. It's a state, right? A feeling. So we use was. Perfect. How about this one? I did my homework. Is doing your homework a state? No. Is it something you possess? Well, no. It's something you do. It's an action. So, of course, we use did. It fits perfectly. And to complete the set, I had a book. Is a book a state or an action? Of course not. It's an object. It's something you own, something you possess. So we use had. See how easy that is when you just ask that one little question? All right, I really think you've got this. But, the absolute best way to make sure something sticks is to put it into practice. So let's do a quick little knowledge check. It's your turn to be the expert. Here's the first one. I blank very happy yesterday. So think about it. Is being happy a state, an action, or a possession? What do you think? The answer is was. Of course it is, because happy is a state of being. It's a feeling. Great job. Okay, next one. She blank her homework. What do you do with homework? Is it a state, an action, or a possession? And the answer is did, right? She performed an action. She did her homework. See? You're totally getting the hang of this. All right, last one. Let's go for a perfect score here. We blank dinner already. What do you think fits for this one?
You got it. The answer is had. In this case, when we say have dinner, we're talking about possessing or having that experience. So in the past, we had dinner. Fantastic work.
And there you have it. You now hold the key. Is it a state, an action, or possession? The next time you get stuck, just ask yourself which category it fits into. So my final question for you is, now that you know the trick, what kind of new sentences can you come up with?